Have you ever been in a situation where you are not the leader, but unless you take action, that situation is going to go sideways really quickly? That's what happened to me. I'm Jason, I'm the leadership guy, and I'm here to help you become a better leader. When we think about leadership, we think about a number of things. But one of the things we think about is people who take action. Leaders tend to be people who are involved, people who are oftentimes hands-on, but very importantly, people who do things, that make things happen. Leaders tend to be people who are not interested in maintaining the status quo, but leaders want to take something from here and move it forward, or take something from here and raise it higher, take it to another level. Leaders tend to want to do that. And interestingly, people tend to expect that from leaders. So when a leader is brought in, that person is not expected to maintain a status quo. They're expected to make things better, to move things forward. Now, leadership is about a lot of things, but leadership is definitely about taking action. Seth Godin once said that leadership is a choice. It's a choice to not do nothing. Don't miss that. It's a choice to not do nothing. As leaders, we want to take action. We want to make things happen. Now, I am not talking about just doing things to keep busy. That's busy work, and that is not productive at all. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is taking action that is going to produce results, change the situation. Some years ago, I was serving as the leader of a youth group, and I took that youth group on a hike. And that hike ended at a very beautiful place in our country called the Rio Seco Waterfall. Rio Seco is a very beautiful place. It's set in the middle of the forest, and all of these lovely natural sounds around you. You come in and the valley opens up, and there's this beautiful waterfall with a lovely large pool. And so we came and we sat there and we got into the water and we swam to the waterfall. We came back and we just had a blast. And I was sitting on the side, just looking out over everyone, ensure that everyone was safe. And I noticed over there's a group of maybe 3 to 5 guys. Something is going on there. As I kept looking at them, I realized that, yeah, something is definitely up. So, out of concern, I left where I was and I went across to inquire, what's happening? And then they shared with me that one of the guys was in some distress. I looked at him and yes, he was definitely in distress. He seemed to be having some kind of allergic or reaction to where he was or what was happening around him. And I thought that situation was going to go sideways pretty quickly. So I suggested to them, you need to get him out of here. And when I suggested that, I realized that they didn't know what to do. So being the leader that I am, I came alongside of them, offered my assistance so we can get this guy some help. So when they agreed, I went back to my group. I called a couple of the young men who were with me. I briefed them on the situation and suggested they get their things together. We are leaving here now. I then went to one of the other leaders of the group and let them know what's happening and suggested to them, let's wrap this up. We're going to leave now, but you all come immediately after us, please. And so we came back and we then had to consider, how are we going to get him out? He wasn't going to be walking out. He certainly couldn't run. So we said, let's see if we can put together a makeshift stretcher. So we got a couple branches that were sturdy, and then we took our belts and we lashed the branches together and we made a makeshift stretcher. Put him onto the stretcher, picked it up, and off we went. And on the way, we're going at a good clip. Then I realized that there is another group of men who are coming after us. They came with an inflatable raft, and then they had a brilliant idea. Let's use the raft. Great. So we put the makeshift stretcher on the ground. We put the raft on top of the makeshift stretcher, then put the distressed guy inside of the raft. Picked it up, and then off we went again. On the way out, we were coming to a left-hand turn. And I remember being on the inside of that turn. And as we're going around the turn, I realized that the guy who was on that side lost his footing. Now, thankfully, it wasn't a cliff. It was a slope. But as he lost his footing, his reaction was interesting. He never let go of the stretcher. He seemed to not have concern for his own safety. He did not let go of the stretcher, he kept holding on to the stretcher. And even as he was now flat on the ground, sliding down, there he was trying to push the stretcher up as far as he could. And somebody else stepped in, took the stretcher from him, we moved forward, and then somebody else came and stepped in and gave him a hand to get him out. And we all just kept changing positions to make sure that all the runners were fresh. And we made our way out. Along the way, somebody placed a phone call and asked for some assistance. And so when we got out there, not too long after, we'd expect some assistance to come. So we continued on, and we eventually came out of the forest and came to the main road. The guy was safe, and he was still in distress. He clearly needed some medical attention, but he was now in a place where he could be attended to. I took action. And because I took action, his friends took action. And then another group of young men also took action. I noted that these guys didn't know me from Adam, and they were willing to follow my lead when I took action. When you take action, you inspire others to take action also. So look around you. Consider, what action could I take in my leadership that is going to bring change, help improve the situation, produce results? Consider that action and then take action. Check out this video for more help in becoming a better leader. I'll see you next time.